You've got Say Less coming out on April 14th. It's got kind of this, like, I mean, I would describe the artwork like sort of a fantasy warrior vibe going on. What can people expect to hear both sonically and in terms of the people that you worked with on this project?
Well, this is an homage to the OG SoundCloud era and to the OG track producers. It's going to be featuring my boys Snooky Sound, Mr. Carmack, Uzi, and Hoochie. Um, and the sound is just trap as hell. So this is a big one for anyone who's a big fan of trap music and of that whole SoundCloud era, which we all came up in. And yeah, just super excited about this. Trap is truly alive and well.
You know, that actually reminds me, my friend, I took him to his first ever EDM show. It was Beyond Wonderland at the Gorge last year. And one thing more than anything that stuck out for him was during your set, there's a SoundCloud visual of you uploading one of your songs, and then the hits just start raking up and raking up and raking up.
Yes.
What does the SoundCloud genre of trap music and just that sort of platform mean to you in your career?
It means everything because like I said, that was really SoundCloud was where everybody started to take notice of my music, and it was that the platform where it was purely you were able to just upload your music, see in real time what people are saying, the ability to download. It was just it's brilliant, and like it was where, like I said, um, I sort of it started to really kick off for me, and I owe everything to those years of my life and the hard work and graft that I put in to, get my music out there. And again, it's an homage to that whole time.
We're, in a new kind of digital streaming age of music. Why is now the time that we're seeing this sort of collective unite and sort of celebrate trap music?
It's one of these things where we wanted to do, say, for example, myself and Carmack and Uzi and Hoochie, we'd never actually worked on music before. And we just thought, you know what, it's about time that we give the fans what they want to hear and, show people that we're really out here still doing it and that the music is truly alive and well. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Like sometimes you hear music and it kind of just goes under the radar, but I really enjoy getting these really obscure pieces of music from like different countries and bringing them to the forefront and showing people like, oh, this is super different, and show people that you can kind of really blend. And it's hard to explain, but I just kind of like anything which sounds different. I just really want to bring that to the forefront. That's all I can really say.
Um, are there any moments or memories that come to mind? Like I remember when I was speaking with Closey, she talked about hearing the koto when she was walking through the streets of Japan. When you're on
Mhm.
tour, are there any locations you visited or any memories that come to mind that have actually influenced some of the songs in your catalog?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I've been to, let me see. Well, when I'm always on tour, one of the things I do like to do is just take a walk on the streets and sort of just feel the environments, feel the areas. And sometimes, you go on the street, there's like local like musicians and people like that. Like I love to look out for local musicians, and I do sample whenever I can get a chance. If there's like an interesting guy playing the drum, especially like the drummers,
Yeah.
like I love that. Of course, like when I'm in India and stuff, if there are people like playing like the sitar, and I've caught little things like that. But usually it's when I'm doing like my digging for like just ideas and songs like on the net or like on Spotify or just on YouTube. I love to kind of like dig for the obscure. So that's kind of how I like to do it.
We talked about your Indian heritage, Chinese heritage, Nigerian heritage. As someone who covers a lot of pro wrestling, one thing that sticks out to me is the Indian fan base has a real deep passion for the sports that they're passionate about and also the people that represent them. You recently
Yeah.
did your first Indian tour, right? Or your first Indian tour dates?
I'm actually going to be doing that
Okay.
back in April. I've played India a few times already, which
What
has
was
been
that?
awesome.
Yeah, was that experience memorable in any unique ways?
Mind blowing. I mean, first of all, the Indian people, like I love them so much. They're so warm, so welcoming, and when I mean like they really rock with your music, like with my music, it was very, very overwhelming. You know, like I had people. Like I remember when I first came to India, there was people like coming to the airport to meet me. Like I'd never experienced anything like that before. So I mean, they love hard, and like I love them back just as equally so.
How's the street food?
Incredible. And I'm a foodie. I love my food and the street food. I mean, I gotta be honest, like the day after was a bit like risky, but it was good food, man. Really, really good.
You know, you gotta explore sometimes. You know, it's the
Absolutely,
gamble you
absolutely.
take. Um,
Hmm.
we recently had our first Latin-based EP, Influendo. What are some other cultures or genres that are kind of top of mind that you want to start exploring more for future projects, or maybe some that we might hear and say less?
I am definitely gonna be touching onto my African roots, that's for sure. I've done that like a few times in the past, like for example, like for Mother Africa, one of my
Mm.
tracks. But I really kind of want to delve into that because again, with the rhythms, the drums of African music, it's like one of my favorites. So in the future, you'll definitely be seeing me like zone into that for sure.
You know, you mentioned how important it is for you to sort of pull and express the rich background you have, but do you ever get any feedback, like when you put it out into the world and all these new people are sort of exposed for the first time to some of these sounds, or maybe people are hearing their music on a platform that they wouldn't typically hear it on? Has that feedback ever gone back to you, and how does it make you feel?
I mean, I've definitely had that kind of feedback where um I definitely like, especially when we was talking about like the Indian culture, when like for example, one of my songs, Aja Aja, like I've had a lot of feedback saying, you know, thank you so much
Oh,
for,
it's sick.
you know, like having like allowing this kind of sound to come through, allowing it to be seen to everybody. And for me, it's very, very like very humbled and very, very happy with that because that is obviously like the goal is to expose people to these new types of sounds, new types of rhythms, and you know, it's an homage to my culture. So that's very satisfying for me.
I was reading an interview that you did where I think it was about 3 years ago, 2020, where you were talking about a need for better representation. I'm sure overall, but particularly for Black artists on festival lineups, and you expressed how maybe sometimes your billing hasn't necessarily reflected where you may be at musically or in terms of reach. In these 3 years, have you seen it shift, up, down? Are we seeing any headway as far as you're concerned?
I'm definitely seeing a change, which is great. Um, there's still times when I do see certain lineups. I'm like, you know, it could be a little bit better, a little
Mhm.
bit more diverse, but at the same time, with me, I'm not going to slow down. And for me, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, it's like I don't want to. How can I say this? But how can I say this?
I genuinely
I want
appreciate
my I
someone who
want to
takes their
that's
time.
okay, okay. So basically, with what I'm doing, I'm trying to I'm showing people that what I'm doing is undeniable.
Mm.
So it's like no matter what, if you're trying to not put me on the lineup, I'm gonna do stuff to make people think he's worthy of the lineup. Do you know what I mean? To be up there, to be on the top billing. I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm putting out music. I'm doing it with a smile on my face. I have no egos. I have no beefs with nobody. It's just like I'm just here doing what I love, and it's how can you be mad at that? Do you know what I mean?
And I mean, in the terms of being undeniable, some of the artists that you've shared songs with, I mean, we're talking about the biggest artists on the planet. How did the Justin Bieber collaboration come together? You guys did Red Eye together.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did that come together? Let's just start there, I
So
guess.
yeah, sure. So it was during COVID, and I was in London. Um, just super super random. Like I got an email from my manager saying, I think from his manager saying, "Hey, like Justin is a huge fan. He's really wants to work with you, and could we set up a phone call?" And I'm like, is this for real? Like, is this like a fake email or something? So anyway, my manager contacted back, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna set up the call. So anyway, it had been like he was meant to call me like a week later or something. A week went by, nothing. 2 weeks went by and nothing. A month went by and nothing. 2 months went by and nothing. 3 months went by and nothing. And obviously by that point, I was just like, no, it's whatever. So then out of nowhere, I just get this random number call me on my phone. I pick up the phone and it's like, hey, it's Justin. I'm like, yo, what the like, how you doing, bro? And he's just like, man, like I really love your music. I've been following you for such a long time, blah blah blah. And I was like, this is just like super trippy. But I was like, man, like the same here. Like you're an incredible artist. I love the music and his voice is insane. And he was like, I'd love to do some stuff with you. So we were like working on like some ideas for I'd say a couple months to be honest with you. And we actually did like a lot more than one song, like some really insane stuff. But we actually decided on Red Eye. And so did the track. And then after that, I think after a couple months, he was like, yeah, this song's gonna come out on my album. And I was like, amazing. And the thing is, it was an idea which had been done like just like a very rough idea. It was just a vocal and just that kind of xylophone that xylophone melody. And that was done by the audibles and written by Sasha Sorota and Pooh Bear. So they sent me just the vocal and that xylophone part. And they were like, bro, can you like flip this? And then I did my thing and the rest is history.
I can't imagine getting that call out of the blue. Like at this point, it's
Dude,
probably like
so
not on your
random.
mind anymore.
Like honestly, just like completely, I was like, nah, this it's not gonna happen. But either way, I didn't like. It was like no hard feelings anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that it happened, it was just like, wow, okay, great, let's do this. I was
I
ready.
I guess the same question: is there an interesting story to the My Boy remix that is currently on Billie Eilish's official channel?
Yes, and actually, it's just surpassed 100 million views on Spotify, plays
Love
on
that.
Spotify. Like I think as of today or yesterday, I
Oh,
think, which is
congratulations.
insane. Thank you so much. And for me, that's like my first like 100 mil like song on Spotify, which for me is it's insane. Like, and I'm so grateful like for that opportunity that she gave me because again, she was like a huge fan, but she is well, yeah, she's a fan, which is great, and I'm a big fan of her too. So I'm glad that that happened, and yeah, it is what it is now.
What sort of validators are these experiences for you as an artist? Know that people you respect your music back, and has it sort of opened any doors for you in this industry?
Definitely. I mean, you know, as you sort of do these things and you know you get these little accolades and these features and things like that, you do get a certain like level of respect to go on to the next thing, and it has opened doors for like other like projects and tracks because you know like as it goes, once someone hears something they're like, oh, I want that too. So it's kind of like it does, you know, have that effect. So I'm honestly like again I'm just super grateful for every single opportunity that I've had to work with all these incredible artists and just to have the platform and the respect to just do what I want to do, which is, you know, just make music and just vibe and that's it really. Like it's all clean hearted, you know. This is just all a way for me to express myself.
Speaking of expressing yourself, I don't want to keep you too long. I know we got a late start. Do you have time for a few rapid fire questions, kind of off the beaten path?
Go on then, let's do it.
Let's do it, my man. You mentioned that for you, the best cure to a creative block or a writer's block is just to step away and sort of separate yourself. What are your go-to forms of relaxation when you got to get away from the music for a minute?
Uh, I'm blessed to live in Miami, which is amazing. So go tos is to go to the beach and just chill by the waves, just find an empty spot and just relax, you know. I'm with my girlfriend as well, so like we just have little walks. She definitely inspires me. She's Greek, so like especially with the Greek music and stuff, she definitely helps me out with that. But I like to take vacations as well, just to kind of get me out of like the repetitive sort of you know vibe if I am going through that at the time. I do like to what else do I do to kind of like step away? Um, I don't know. It's just I just honestly just kind of just almost forget about anything about music for a bit. I just kind of just do me. Oh, also another way for me to kind of get re-inspired is I go to like different studio spaces.
Hmm.
Like sometimes when I'm in the same space, it's kind of like okay, it's almost very repetitive
Interesting.
round, I do that. That's always great.
Set and setting, you know, gotta mix it up sometimes.
Hmm.
Okay, so since you like taking vacations, I'm gonna name you five. Give me the top two you'd go on. We can go
Ooh,
backpacking, all-inclusive resort, amusement park, road trip, camping.
all inclusive resort
I
for
have been
sure,
I've been watching a lot of White Lotus, and I
dude.
I'm craving just a week of like beach,
100.
eating, drinking.
That is the vibe. I actually did a little flip of the White Lotus song as well. Actually, I play that in my sets.
Hey, hey, I love that tie-in. Very, very
So
timely.
sick.
Um,
I'll send it to you as well. A little
please, I'd
flip.
actually love to hear that.
Sick.
What is the greatest movie score of all time in your opinion? Greatest to you. It doesn't have to be.
Ooh, that is a tough one.
Loaded with them.
Um, Damn. I mean, The Dark Knight is just exceptional. Um, Lord of the Rings, epic. I liked the Tron uh, film score. That was insane. Obviously, by the legends Daft Punk. Um, but I love like Hans Zimmer. He's a beast. Like he is an actual beast. I mean, the way he I don't know, just movies just become alive with him, like of doing the scores. So yeah, definitely he's the guy. Anything he does is insane.
Dark Knight and Lord of the Rings are probably the two movies or the two franchises that have the most replays in my life. So very
Yeah,
much on the same
100%.
wavelength there. Which
Therefore,
three hip hop producers have inspired your sound the most?
Timberland, Pharrell,
Yeah, I know those two. That's why I asked for three. I'm waiting for the third one.
and that's a great question. And I mean, I always say Dr. Dre as well,
Solid choice.
and Dilla.
Yeah, what? Let's do four. Why not? If you have five, you can go
Yeah,
for it, man. I'm not gonna stop you.
let's get a fifth in there. Let's get a fifth in there. And hip hop producers. Man, oh, I'm also actually like early just Blaze back in the day.
Yes, great choice.
Pump it up.
I've been building like a hip hop boxing playlist, and the amount of Just Blaze sound drops you get at the
Yeah,
beginning is otherworldly.
just
Um,
Blaze.
TroyBoi stays in shape, but it's pretty easy when he's jumping around stage like a maniac. How many calories would you estimate you burn in one set?
Okay, so the last time I checked, 1,223
Dude,
or
that's
something. Yeah,
unreal.
1,200. Even when I checked on my Apple Watch, because I remember like I was like, I need to like record this one day and find out it was over like 1,200 and something.
Okay, well, any bodybuilders who say that cardio is a waste of time need to get into the music business, apparently.
Bro, honestly, that is for me. Like, if I'm slacking in the gym and I've got a show the following day, I'm like, it's all good. I'm gonna burn it off.
Okay,
That piece of cake doesn't seem so bad anymore.
no, no. You have two. You deserve it. This is why
Right.
the all. That's why you can do the all inclusives. You know, binge for a
There you
week
go.
and get back on
Precisely.
tour. I mean, you should probably be eating more cake if you're burning that many a night.
No, honestly, I'll be by the time I'm done, like just skin and bones.
All right, last one. And what I would like is the collaboration you've done that was the biggest WTF moment. So I'm not asking you for the best or whatever. Like for me, seeing your next name next to Ice Cube was a mind blowing moment for me. So
That
what would
was
it be for
pretty
you?
insane. Um, I mean, obviously, to do something with Justin was,
Especially the way you
that's
got
just,
that phone call.
I mean, he's, arguably like the biggest pop star in the world, so it's like, how does it get better than that, But then at the same time, I've got to like say to like for my peers, like when I did my tracks with my brother Skrillex back then, the Warlord song, that was for me like a great moment because he's like one of my boys. And really to do something with him that was just obviously awesome. Obviously Billie Eilish as well, that was insane. Um, yeah, those are the main sort of three that kind of come to mind at the moment.
Love it. Troy, you've been so generous with your time. I want to leave you with the last words. So I'll do my part very quickly. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you're still here, please hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, support all the great work that EDM.com does. Let us know in the comments section what are your top 3 TroyBoi songs as well. Come back in a month. Let us know what your favorite song is off Say Less. The EP drops April 14th. TroyBoi, if there's anything you want to let people know, the tour, the EP, the floor is yours, my man.
Dudes, just want to say thank you to everybody that's been listening. Catch Say Less. I'm going to be doing the tours basically all throughout April. I'm going to be announcing all the sales of the tickets are going to be available this Friday. Again, love you all. Thank you all so much for supporting my music this whole time. And Shaq, thanks for having me and for spending time with me and asking me these amazing questions. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the EP.